All right, so we're back here with part 2 of this Tattoo Assassins cabinet tribute project here. And the artwork is still in work, so we're still waiting on that. But there's no reason why we can't start working on the internals and the wiring and things like that. But step 1 was to redo the control panel. If you go back and watch part 1, you know how just butchered the control panel was. The side here was just destroyed. Let's get in the light. Yeah, the chunks missing and screws all through it and 3,000 layers of paint and all chipped up. It was just not cabinet worthy. And then the front here, of course, had the gun holes drilled into it and for the cables and who knows what else. So this had to go as well. But I was able to salvage the bottom plate and the back plate. So the front piece and both sides are new, along with all new cleats. Well, mostly new cleats. I was able to reuse this one and this one and this one, I think, but this one, that one, this one, that one are all new cleats. I don't even know if you can see those. There you go, that one. So that's new and that's new, and that one's new. All of this stuff is now good to go and done, so all I need to do is just get the artwork on it, and that'll finish that. Everything is done. So wood glued together, brad nailed all together. It's nice and secure. It's basically brand new. So we got the control panel situation figured out, and I'm going to be able to successfully reuse the actual panel itself. That'll sit right in here and be good to go. I just need to get a new metal top and the artwork put on, and that'll be it. So the control panel situation is resolved. The next step was to try and figure out how I'm going to do all the stuff inside. Fortunately, the original power brick and isolation transformer is there. So it has the connections, original connections here still for the monitor, and the connections here for power supply. So I just kind of threw everything in here. I grabbed a monitor, K7000, fully rebuilt, ready to go. I have the VGA to CGA converter powered off of a power supply, a standard power supply. And then we have, yeah, the PC's up and running. And then of course I have the keyboard here laying. I just had this laying here so I could show the control panel up. Then we have a mouse here and a controller. And I don't know if you can tell, but the game is running. So let's actually shut the garage doors here, or the garage doors, depending on where you're from. There you go. It looks fantastic. Well, in my personal opinion, it sounds good. It's pretty sharp. And, you know, these converters here really aren't bad for what they are. I can't complain one bit because this allows me to do this project. So as you can see, I mean, you can clearly read it. It's pretty clear. It's crisp, looks great. In my opinion, well worth the effort and putting it together like this. So, of course, I still need to do a new marquee light. I need to wire up the controls, and what we're going to use here is I have a iPack. I have an iPack here. We're going to just run this to the computer, and I have a JAMA harness. I'm obviously not going to use the JAMA part of it. Come on, get out of here. All right, so I have a harness here. We're going to use this like as if it was a JAMA game. We're going to just kind of cut off the wires here for the JAMA harness right about here. And just discard the JAMA connector part and use the actual wiring with the labels on it to run to player 1, player 2, things like that. So I'll be able to use this wiring for my control panel. I should not need any disconnect because all the wiring is just going to go from the controls to the iPack, which is going to be mounted right on the underside of the control panel. So we're only going to need probably like 2 feet of wires from each controller to the iPack. Then the iPack has a USB cable. So if I need to ever remove the control panel, all I have to do is just take that USB cable out, and then the whole control panel will come right off because the USB cable I can just throw down in the cabinet, and I don't need to worry about any disconnects or connectors or anything like that. So all I really have to do now is wire up the controls, get that done. and get everything situated and sorted inside here. What I need to do is crack open the computer case and drill a hole up here and put a button. So on my previous projects like this, what I would do is I'd run some wires to the power switch inside the case on the motherboard for the computer and run them up here to a button. So I flip the switch for the cabinet power, turns everything on but the PC, and I just hit the button on top of here and it'll turn the PC on, and then it'll automatically boot through the start menu right to the game. So we need to get all that done, but for now, yeah, the main part of the control panel is complete. Just waiting on a new metal panel and artwork. I need to order buttons and switches and sticks as well as also, but I mean, the hard part's basically done. We got the monitor set up, the computer set up, and everything is done in that aspect. It's a bit too, let me turn the blue down slightly, it looks like it. But it really is for what it is. It's super sharp, and colors are good, screen size is good. It's pretty much perfect. I mean, the average person not knowing about this project, if you walked up to this in the wild, you would think that maybe it might be a real machine. If you're not real familiar with the fact that the Data East machines don't look like the Midway cabinets, but yeah, it's just really good for what it is. So, oh, it's changed. Camera doesn't really do it justice. In person, it's much better. So anyway, yeah, so we need to get cracking. We need to get cracking on the wiring and the controls, but I need to order that stuff first. Just wanted to give you a quick little update here that I am still working on this, and it is a project that is fluid, and it's going to take probably a couple more parts. I mean, there may be one more part where I do all of the internals, get everything mounted, and get the start switch wired into the computer, get everything secured, all routed and things like that, to where all I have to do is get the control panel wiring done, get the artwork installed, and be done. So the major hurdle was just the cabinet work and all the stuff like that. And of course I got to get a new marquee thing going. So, but yeah, just make a quick, this is going to be just a quick update on what's going on. I don't know if I really want to call this a part 2, because I really haven't done much except for just get this stuff preliminarily up and running and get the control panel box all fixed up. So I may just consider this just a quick update. So to kind of whet your appetite a bit with the waiting on the artwork. You know, I've bugged Jeff about getting this done. I need to try and get this blue adjusted a bit more. It's too blue. That's a bit better, okay. I've been bugging Jeff to get that artwork done. I'm sure he's working hard on it, but he's a busy guy, so. All right, yeah, just a quick update. Control panel box is done. I need to get some stuff ordered and kind of go from there, but I'm still waiting on the artwork. Once I get the artwork in my hands and get it installed, that'll really be a motivation to get this all finished. But the main part is done, cabinet work, and we're cruising along here on the wiring and the internals. So this was a big hurdle getting this all set up as well. And I did not have a bezel. I found one. Actually, I had a friend that was coming up to town to pick up another machine, and he asked me if I was interested in a empty NFL Blitz. I said, oh, sure, bring it up. So he brought me a completely empty NFL Blitz. But it had a monitor, and not only did it have a monitor, it had monitor glass and a bezel. So I robbed the bezel from that NFL Blitz for Tattoo Assassins, because I actually do have a bezel, but it's for Terminator 2, and it's missing well, it's too small. Basically, it's cut off down here, and it's cut off up here slightly because it's meant to go on the Terminator 2 machine. So, I mean, eventually I could use this. Let's turn some more light on here. So you can see that if I set this in place over the other one, you can see that it's cut off by about, I don't know, 2.5 inches or so. And then up here it doesn't even go up into the, well, it's about like this one. So this would be okay if it wasn't cut off 2.5 inches. But I mean, I probably might end up just using this one and putting this one back in the NFL Blitz, because if I take this and set it in place and kind of use some double-sided tape or whatever, there's going to be a bezel that I made that goes around this that will cover that. So we'll see how that turns out. I may end up using this one, but for the meantime, I grabbed the one out of the NFL Blitz to use on this. Okay, enough blathering. Stay tuned for more, and the next part I will have, well, actually, not I'm going to have it. The next part we'll actually start working on all of the internals, wiring, control panel, switches, buttons, getting everything laid out internally, mounted to the cabinet, and all that jazz. So stay tuned for that. Just wanted to give you a quick update that this is progressing, and it's progressing quite nicely. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you then.